What's up, guys? Wanted to take some time here, just do a little stream action. Gonna wait for a couple people to come in. See, I might not have, I see a red light. Hopefully the video quality is good enough and you guys can hear me properly and the video feed isn't too terrible. Gonna try to stream here, do some, trying to make sure that this chat's viewable. Not sure, thought I was hitting, guess I'm not hitting Golf Clash. There it is. That's very weird. How's it going, guys? I can see some guys in here. Hopefully the chat is working. A lot of times I can get comments to pop up on my screen here. And I don't see anything. So did want to just confirm that that is up and running, working. But nevertheless, we're just going to try to play some holes here. While everybody kind of loads in, I did want to take some time here briefly. Let me just pop here. Is that I might try to find the chat on a different device here, just so I can make sure that we're tuned in with everybody. See if I can pop in here. Find it on a different device. It seems like pretty crazy. It just kind of keeps pushing me back out for some reason. I don't know if that's a bug or what in the world it's doing. I've never seen it do that. But it's just popping straight out to this link instead of staying here. Let me see if I can. Hopefully all that's good now. Not sure what that was. I can see you guys in the chat. It's not popping up on my screen like it used to. I'm not even sure how to really even do that anymore. I'm not going to worry about it too much. But I do see you guys. Thanks for coming. Wanted to just briefly talk about something real quick. It's like a different shot. And one of the reasons that I just wanted to kind of discuss here is this is kind of like a new, man, it's doing it again. It's just popping out of my, as you can see, I'm having some technical difficulties here. I'm hoping that I can get it to stop doing that and forcing me out of what I'm doing. But, this is hole one. And what I wanted to try to do here is try to take a different approach. I pulled this up from the practice. You can see the wind's a straight tailwind. That's not like the wind in the actual tournament. It's more of like a right-pointed wind. And one of the things that I just wanted to kind of briefly go over here is you can see in this demo that I pulled up here, there's like a path to the hole. So you can see that, straight up there is kind of that where the target is landing and the hole. So I'm going to try to utilize this spot to try to go more at the pin, because yesterday and all the other rounds, I've just been basically just getting it through and not doing anything fancy. I want to kind of change things the way that I'm doing. I can kind of just fast forward this shot. This was, kind of my first attempt at this. You can see it's kind of going right through that gap. And it's just kind of rolling up here, but it's now too far to the right. So now when we were too far to the left, the full curl, I can kind of show you what this looks like back. If I refresh here, you can see right back here, this is full curl that we can possibly do. And the full curl result is to the right of the hole like this. Thanks everybody for the you know, good luck in the chats and everything. Appreciate seeing you guys here. But did want to just kind of briefly talk about that. Just to let you know kind of my approach as to, trying something new. That's kind of the best way to just kind of do something that you're not used to doing, is basically just try to create a path and then kind of make some tweaks. And that's what we're going to work on for this first hole here. So let me go. Hopefully we are still up and running. As I did see on my feed here, it's either going slow or just kind of, yep, it looks like it's running again. But I do have that dang thing keep popping up. I don't know if anybody has any idea as to how to resolve that, or if they've seen it. I don't even know. Maybe it is my connection. I can see that I am red. I don't know if that has any correlation at all. But let me go ahead. I'm going to go in here and pop on this grid real quick. So I got to go here. I'm doing this on a separate device, but I'm going to get my grid all squared away. It is in here. If for those of you who don't know, this is the guide for Ultimate Golf. But yes, I still use this because the mesh is far more sophisticated than the Golf Clash notebook. And I've had some guys in the chat kind of mention something about this, possibly getting it on notebook. Chances are probably won't. And the reason why is because this is free. It's not something you have to pay for. So as soon as you go here, you can just hit download and it's free. With that being said, if you don't want to do the subscription version, that's perfectly fine. Basically, the way that it would work is if you wanted to do meshes and you wanted to use this mesh tool, you would just have to watch an ad per object. So every object that you want to create, you're basically just going to wind up with basically just one ad per object that you try to create. And here you can see my grid. I can create as many objects as I want to. You can see he's like a curl. I can turn things off individually if I want. Activate it. It gives me a lot of flexibility with what I can do. In fact, for instance, I'm going to try to take off some curl. So a good idea, I could go into my curl grid here. I can copy one of these objects. So let me copy this one at the bottom down here. Since we're going to do a right curl shot, and then all I have to do is just edit it. One of the things that I can do is I can give it a different color. So I copied the exact settings. I'm just going to change the color. And this is a totally new object. So as you can see, it's just going to pull away from that object. It's just a very fast way for you to be able to create. And I'm making this a different color because this is going to be like a live. Like I want to use this box for this shot. So I want it to stand out. So that's all that you see that I'm doing here. And of course you see that plane that I have on the bottom. That's just kind of keeping me aligned, making sure that I'm not overpowering. So that's what that line at the bottom is. So as I tilt this, I just need to pull it up a little bit as well. So you can see that's what I'm doing there. Radius 148. That's a very device specific thing. One of the things that I did want to let you guys know, I did lose the chat for some reason on my second device. So if you guys are talking, hopefully you guys are. I just wanted to let you know I'm having trouble seeing the chat. And I'm not sure why. So let me see. Hopefully it's up and working again. I'm not sure. I can see some of the comments, but basically, all I'm doing here is just kind of creating a new element, and we're just going to go right into the game now. And let's jump into the tournament. I have not took a look at this round yet. But like I said, one of the things that I got to get back into the mode of Golf Clash. So one of the things I want to make sure that I am finding the ball that I want to use, make sure that it's selected. It is. So that's the ball we're going to use. And then we're just going to go in and we're going to play this hole. So like I mentioned, the shot's going to proceed just a little bit different than what we saw earlier that I was showing you guys that fast video of. Thanks, Nicholas. I could see your guy. I could see some comments coming through. I do appreciate them. You can see once again this box. I don't know if it's the comments causing that. It almost feels like it is. Like every comment for some reason. I wonder if I deactivate it, but I don't know if that's going to turn it off. I hope if I do that, you guys can still comment. I might have just restricted comments, but oh nope. So it's still, there might be some kind of bug because I just saw another comment come through, and it feels like that's what was causing that window to collapse, and like it was like going back to the chat or something instead of just letting me stay on the game every time somebody commented. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate you being here. Like I said, we're just going to kind of go through some shots, just have some fun with it. Like I said, I knew this was going to be kind of a different wind. And kind of what I had in mind was to try to get this going just a little bit. So this is going to be, what, 2 rings, give or take, on Apocalypse. And of course, we're going to aim somewhere in here. Very similar to what you just saw me set up on that video. And then we're just going to pull these 2 rings right down almost into the bunker. Just keep it just out of the bunker. Let's do that. And I'm just going to go ahead and we're going to try this curl. If I don't like it, I'll switch it next time. Of course, I hit a great ball. So unfortunately, this isn't going to give me the best results. Let's see if it gets down there. It looks like probably going to need more curl. So that was what? That was a right great ball. So it should have pulled it more right. And I'm still to the left of the hole. So maybe for next time, something to think about is I can just kind of shift this yellow box. And of course, keep in mind, as that wind intensifies as well, I know we're not talking about super huge winds here, 2, 3, 4, 5 miles per hour at the most. But as that does approach 4 or 5, keep in mind it is going to push it just a little bit more to the left. So you will have to always be kind of increasing your curl as the wind gets larger, that type of thing. But now we know that somewhere in between that yellow and that red, like you see me have set up, is probably ideal for that shot. So we're just going to kind of hone in on it. And this is a much better approach. So if you guys did, I know that I didn't even do voice on those videos, but if you guys did check it out, this is a much better shot than the old shot I was going for. So, it potentially is going to turn into an ace. Hopefully that's the goal by weekend round. So these are like the strategies that you like to think about as you're playing through your rounds. Drag that circle down to close it. Not sure what that... Are you talking about the radius? So now that we're finished this hole, I'm not sure exactly what you're mentioning. But yeah, you have... That's one of the beauties of this app that we created. And for some reason, I did get... ads to go away. Got to restore purchases. Sometimes the inactivity, it's a hard bug that we're trying to resolve. So you do have to use that restore purchases from time to time. But here's the curl grid. And if I wanted to just go in and edit this, somebody mentioned closing. I'm not sure what that meant, but you can totally play around with the radius of this thing. I noticed that a ball on this device is right around 148. So you can see that's what I've been using. Of course, I can't get it back on the 148 once I took it. But there it is right there. And like we mentioned, we're just going to try shifting this for next time. So why don't I just temporarily bring this over kind of like this. And we'll try it right here for next shot. As just kind of kind of like a revised. And I can turn it off and only turn it on when I want. Similarly, since that, this curl, it's an entire class, I can close the whole class down. I can close down whatever I want. If I just wanted to, since I won't be hitting a lot of curl shots, I can basically just close curl down for now. This app, like I mentioned, we went above and beyond to create something that makes, kind of raises the level. And like I mentioned before, it's called Guide for Ultimate Golf. Yeah, you don't have to have Ultimate Golf to have it. The whole mesh drawing thing is far advanced than anything that's ever really that I've seen created. We wanted to do something a lot more user friendly to make it, a lot more technical ability to be able to do all kinds of things. As you can see, draw rectangles, squares with ease. It's something that you can just do fast. Pop-up circle. Gotcha. Thanks for that. Not sure about closing that down. It's always hung on my screen, so I'm assuming it's just going to kind of stay there. I'm just going to try to keep it out of the way. We'll put it over on this side, kind of like over my name. Thanks, guys. Appreciate you guys being here. I actually see some old names, too. Tommy Patterson. I feel like a long-term player. Going up a ways, I saw, Sue Buckley. These are Joe Cook. These are people that have been in the game as long as I can remember. It's cool to see you guys still here and, coming in to tune into my stream. It's basically, that app that I'm showing you, it's just for grids. This app right here is for the stream. This is the YouTube. It just shows up on my screen as kind of like a user interface because I'm playing on the device. Like this is the device. I'm not broadcasting to a secondary hub or anything. Like I'm playing physically on the device that I'm streaming on. So I'm just on like screen record, and that's the reason that you see the layout. And some of the other guys, I'm sure they don't do it the way that I do, but I don't use any secondary software for doing any of this. Now let's get geared up for the next hole. I like to kind of get things, I've been doing about plus 15. So I just like to get set up and then we can just jump in and go straight to this hole. Yeah, thanks, Jerry. Yeah, we tried to keep it simple. One of the things that I did just want to talk about, that one of the biggest technical issues that people do have a little bit of trouble with is activating it. What they don't realize is when you fresh download it and hit the activate button, there's no grid. You have to actually physically create. And you want to make sure that you do activate the grid before trying to go create elements. Because what's going to happen if you don't activate the grid, have an active grid, you're going to go to create an element. Yes, it's going to create it, but you're going to be doing it blind because it's not activated to actually showing up physically on the screen. So yes, you can still create the object like that, but you're not going to see it. So it makes it much more difficult. So let's do a 3.0. Now this shot here is something a little bit of a challenge here. You need to be precise with this land zone, everything about it. I can see I covered up my wind. Oh, whoa. I didn't even know. This is news to me, so we're going to have to just do this on the fly. I guess different winds per round now. That's my first time seeing that. So tailwind now on this. Let's see if I can get the spot. Just a hair off. And more so than anything, usually when it lands to the left like that, if you guys are trying this bump, one of the things that you're seeing is I probably landed just a little bit north of where I intended to land. So being on the north end, it causes it to kind of not break as much. So you see that it's missing to the left. It's kind of just like a misconception a little bit. So I probably missed long more so than anything. So when I go back over this video, something I got to try to tighten up on the back nine is going to be that I'm going to have to just make sure that I under adjust just a hair next time. You can see my opponent here doing kind of very similar. It looks like he might have even just got just a little bit technically closer than me. But that's more or less what it comes down to is, you know, overshooting that land zone more so than it is, you know, oh, I under adjusted or over adjusted. It's more about just trying to get that precise. And sometimes it could be as simple as the shot circle itself. So if you are adding, and that's one of the reasons that I created this object like this, to make sure that I do it the exact same every time. I don't want one little tick mark causing it to overshoot half a yard, costing me the drop, like that type of thing. So it's something that you really need to kind of get dialed and be very precise, because even that 0.1 difference is going to make all the difference in the world. Yep, just finding that out, Mark. So new wins. So this is going to make things a little bit more interesting. Definitely kind of agree with it, but it kind of favors. Here's the downside of this new format is it really favors the guy with 5-6 accounts, whereas it still did the other way, but it kind of bridges the gap a little bit. The guy, you know, like me, just playing this one time, if you're not using any other resources, have no idea, like, you're getting behind, because all those other guys that have 4 or 5 rehearsals definitely, you know, an advantage for sure. Being able to, you know, just have that replication, be able to just micromanage a little bit. So it does create just a tiny bit more separation, I think. But overall, I do like it because it keeps the game fresher. So it makes it more fun to play. But at the same time, yeah, that's the downside, is it almost forces you in to have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 accounts. Like, it's kind of pushing you towards that. So what is our next hole? 3. Let's go oldest. We're going to go Berserk Ball. Not sure what to expect with the new wind. There's a variety of reasons, Ian, why you might have the notebook app disappearing. I'm sure this has been tackled on a lot of forums and whatnot. You might want to put it under like battery settings. There's like sleep, like you can go to your settings, you can go to sleep options. And what you want to do is you want to add notebook to a device, a list of never going to sleep apps. As soon as you add it to that list, the memory management, even when it gets tight, it's not going to force close it. It's going to force close something else. So that makes it a little bit easier for you to be able to get that so that way when your memory gets tight, it's not deleting your notebook app, it's deleting something else from the screen. So it's nothing that we can do from a development standpoint. It's a memory thing. So I'm not saying that, you know, it's necessarily what I just said, putting it in like as something that can never go to sleep. But it could be a memory thing causing it as well. So, you know, if you're playing on a device that has 4 gigs, if you ever get below 1 and you're trying to play Golf Clash, not a good idea. You know, when you're going into the settings, if you ever see 1, 1.5, anytime you get down that low, 1, 1.5, makes it really hard for the operating system to run efficiently. And you might run into problems as a result of that with it closing. Okay, let's see. I'm going to go right around here. I'm assuming we'll still do more or less. Now, yesterday I reference aimed this. I'm assuming that I'm going to do more or less the same. A reference aim, but I'm going to go full top spin, somewhere along that. The wind's so small, I like to reference aim, winds that are tiny, because they really don't take a lot of work to get it where you want. I want to just make sure that I don't clip this left rough here more so than anything. I'm assuming this will still carry. That's what we wanted to hit. Didn't get it over to the right enough. So I should have made it just a little bit more left. With that being said, we're still going to try to hold it. I was able to get this on qualifying 1 in a very similar spot. So it's definitely still going to be manageable. Thanks, guys. We're going to try to make a correction on this on the back and come in just a little bit. I thought it was going to play pretty similar to the last wind, but maybe just come up a little bit short. But it actually, it really didn't want to curl back as much. I expected it to curl back about the same, because when you have that huge curling wind and your wind's opposing it, both shots in the last round and this round, they were both opposing. And when it has that opposing, it doesn't want to curl back as much. And you can see, this shot didn't, but I still expected it to curl back more than it did. So let's go here. One of the things that I wanted to do, I wanted to pull to max if I could. So let's do that real quick. Another thing that I'm going to do is going to screenshot real quick. I'll tell you why later. This is probably 20% club, give or take. I probably should have been prepping this a while, and I didn't. Half a ring at most. I see this fringe has been pretty legit spot to try to land on. This is how I made it the other day, was on this fringe. Of course, it's definitely going to come down to perfect ball from this range, which we're able to get. Oh man, how did I miss that? Ugh, I should have used some more right spin, tried to straighten out that. I should have never missed that. That is an unforced error right there. Perfect ball. Should have used some more right spin, tried to make it to where, whether I landed just a tad bit short or a tad bit long, regardless, it would have still held its path. Like I said, unforced error there. Definitely shouldn't have missed that. So, that would be the strategy for you guys for your other rounds. So let's say, in one of the other divisions even, I'm assuming most of you guys probably aren't in rookie. I'm in rookie 1. I might be trying to, work up to pro, to expert. I don't know. That's long term. It's tough to know for sure what I'm doing. I know I definitely should have made that shot though. That's definitely an unforced error for sure. Now, one of the things that I did want to do is just take kind of a temporary break here. One of the things, for most of you who might not know, I moved on from this game. I kind of hopped around, just played a little bit of everything. Did land at Ultimate Golf for a while. I still, I really do like that game. All the tournaments always have different wins, so it really keeps it fresh. And definitely, it's one of those things that you still can master, but it's a harder learning curve. So I understand kind of why guys stay put, and maybe might not like the concept, but it is still a very fun game to play. But with that being said, I did want to just take a break here and show you why I screenshot this. So this screenshot right here, this is one of the things that I learned from going to a game. For those of you who don't know, the tournaments have no time clock. So you can really slow down and you can kind of be a little bit more methodical with things. So one of the things, probably not the greatest, but since I did it with a Berserker on, I probably should have did it with a Power 3 on only. But the net result is only going to be maybe a ring. So overall, I'm not too upset about it. But one of the things that I wanted to show you here is just kind of how easy I can go to the mesh here. This is actually something that I've been wanting to do anyway. So I'm just going to come in here to this Golf Clash grid, and we're going to create another line. So we're just going to go to the plus sign here. Of course, it's not going to be an actual line. It's going to be a segmented. So segmented, what that's going to do is it's just going to add a bunch of tick marks all at once. So if I was to come down here, we were to come down, I remember it being like right here, give or take on my screen. All I'm doing is creating a club span. And I know this span is always going to be true at max. So at max zoom, that is. So that's why I zoomed all the way out, because what it does is it fixes distance. Whatever that max span is, it's always going to be that. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to call this Nirvana, what is it, a 9? And we're just going to call it the span. This is the span. However long, whatever length that is, it's always going to be that length. So it's going to help me with the slider. Is basically what it's going to do, because all I'm going to have to do is go to any distance and just put where I'm about to land, put my foot at 0, and it's going to give me a very good estimation in that span, because I know that that's the full span. It's always going to be that distance. The only trick is you always have to go to max zoom out. So you're going to have to always do it from the fully zoomed out position. But it's a fixed camera position. That's the reason that we do it. So it's just like another way of being able to estimate distance very fast. And you should be able to do, once you get good at this, you should be able to do it quick. Now, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to do, I'm thinking maybe 10 segments. So this would be like, think of it as percentages, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. Actually, usually what I do is I do the other ones first. So I'm going to back off, and we're just going to do 2 segments. And I'm going to do it like this. I'm going to do it very similar to the one that you see drawn on the screen already in the center there. So we're going to come here. We'll do like a nice bright yellow, something like this. All that looks good. 2.0 thickness. Of course, I'm going to have to move this a bunch. But you can see down there, what is that, 60%? A little under 60%. So I'll just shift this down just a touch, and then I'll slide this all the way down to 60, somewhere in here. And all I'm doing is just trying to size this up. Because like I said, this is going to be fixed. Once I do this once, that's the only time that I have to do it. And the only thing that I might do is I might just come in just a tad bit for max here. Because like I said, I don't want to do this on a Berserker ball. So I might come down a ring, kind of like you see with what I'm doing here. Is I'm just coming down 1 ring, give or take. Because I want to assume that I'm using like a Power 3 or a Power 4. For a little bit better scale. And this looks pretty good. It's a little bit too tight for me. I don't want it here, so I'm just going to slide it over to here. But it's kind of the same principle. It doesn't matter where it's on the screen. This is the distance. And like I said, it's always going to be this distance. Just save this. And the other thing I'm going to call this is, 50, just so I know that this is just showing a 50 tick mark. And then Nirvana 9 span 50 is right there at the bottom. I can copy that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy it 3 times. And the reason, because I'm going to go into the second one here. We're going to change the color just like you see on my screen there. We're going to do blue for this one. We're just going to add tick marks. That's all we're doing. So these are going to be the 25. So 25, 50, 75, 100. Save. All done. And then next is going to be the red tick mark. And we're going to do 10s on this one. So we're going to do 10 segments. And the only other thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to come in just a little bit on this. So it just kind of, you can see it makes it just a little bit smaller. But that's it. We're done. That's Nirvana span. It's always going to be Nirvana span. And you can just kind of see it drawn there. And anytime that I want to turn it off, oh, wrong one. It's down here. You know, and you could create them as your own, you know, separate as well. And that's the span. It's always going to be the span, like I said. So it's just a good estimator. If I ever have Nirvana again, all I have to do, like I said, I go to the bottom tick mark. At very bottom is 0. Wherever I'm trying to land, I'm just going to make sure that my foot, like where my picture is, like where you actually see the very bottom there, on the 0. And then wherever I'm trying to land is going to be whatever percent. If I'm fully zoomed out and it's up halfway on the screen, then I know I'm at 50%. And it'll just be a very quick thing I can do in 5 seconds, right at the very beginning of the shot clock. You'll never have to pull to max again, because you know max cannot exceed that span from that one camera view that you did. When you're at full max, it's always going to be full max. Yeah, so just wanted to let you guys know that. Like I mentioned before, probably no working update for Notebook, because this is free. You can get this for free in the store. It's called Guide for Ultimate Golf. Like I said, you don't. There's a subscription to it, but you can download it for free. You don't have to do description. All you have to do is go to the mesh tool. What you just saw me create there, I created 3 objects. You have to watch 3 ads. That's it. So watch 3 ads, create 3 objects. You already have Nirvana done. You never have to do it again. There is also technically an import-export feature as well. So if you were to go to settings, data, import-export. Basically what that does, import it. I import a configuration. You know, you can pass them along to your friends, and then all they have to do is edit, that type of thing. Or you can do an export. So export, what I usually do is I save it to like a Google Drive, and then I can just give it to whoever I want. Import, as soon as I go to that file, basically if I do hit the import, it's just gonna, I got ads on, so. But you can see this is the gist of what it does with ads. You just watch the ad. After the ad's over, you get the functionality. This is where I save my bags. So all I would do is I would just click on, you know, this is backup bags. This is in Google Drive. You can see the folders, Drive, My Drive, Ultimate Golf, backup bags. So basically all I would do is just load that file. And as soon as I click on that, it would just import that type of thing. So it does give you a lot of functionality, like I was mentioning. All right, so we can jump back in. Like I said, you know, probably not going to come to Notebook just because of that fact. The fact that you can download it for free, you can go download it, just watch a couple ads, create some objects, easy peasy. So hole 4, that is par 3. I've been using max adjustment. I'm not sure for sure with the change wind that this is going to be working, but this is what I've been doing. And of course I got to switch the ball. What have I been using for this hole? Navigator. You're pretty close to mid span here. I'm using YouTube streaming. So I usually do use AD recorder, but that's only for when I'm not live streaming. So right now, since I'm live streaming, I'm using the YouTube app, and then I'm just going live. Any other questions for other guys? How many we got here? So for an unscheduled stream, not a bad showing. 30 some guys. Appreciate you guys' support. Thanks for coming out. I really wish that somebody else could go first other than me. I feel like I'm on the pressure. On the pressure every single time here. I been using the max number, so you can see 3-2. This is pretty close to what I'm going to do. Something to the effect of this is what I've been doing. I'm assuming maybe I might have to go an extra 10th. Oh no, I can't zoom that way. Thanks, guys. So let's go here. We're going to go 3-2, which is the max number. Like I said, it's been working, so add 5%, use the max number. However, the wind's a little bit different this time. Nevertheless, we are still good. That's what's nice about rough bump is you really don't have to create, you don't have to factor any additional secondary wind, especially at this small. I know you do on like 10, 15 miles per hour. It might start to deflect a little bit more to the left, but, at 2, 3, 4, 5 miles per hour, we can still get the drops with very similar adjustment. It's not going to really change too much. Little bum that I missed hole 3, but we are back on track. Appreciate it, guys. There are, Sue. So the easiest way for you to find it, I would go to my other channel, or you can PM me if you want, but you can go to my other channel, Zach Jones, the Ultimate Golf one. There is a playlist, and then once you go to Android, you'll find some good, useful tutorials in the Android section to help you walk through that. Alternatively, you can find them directly in the app. So this is one of the most useful things that we've wrote for people is the help section. So when I go back here, and it's something that, of course, nobody ever looks at, which is unfortunate because it actually has a lot of stuff in here. So when I go to meshes, this will explain everything. And then you'll actually see from time to time here, watch tutorial. Down here, there'll be another one for like certain elements. But we've labeled everything showing you, okay, this is what this button does. This is what this button does. And there's also in watch tutorial embedded 2 or 3 times. But like I said, in the playlist under Android help would be the easiest way to find bulk information on that tool for that. Thanks, guys. Appreciate seeing you. DJ, I remember seeing you as well way back in the day. Still here, grinding it out in Golf Clash, I see. It is available for iOS. The only issue with the iOS is just not having the ability to, draw on the screen. Kind of similar to what the challenge is with the notebook. It's very similar. So you have to keep in mind there's going to be an overlay, but it's going to be the default grid for iOS. So it's a lot less functional. You can't do nearly as much with it. You have to just use the standard grid, and that's the one with all the numbers. I'm sure you guys have seen plenty of times. Hole 5, I can't remember what this is. Okay, this one. Okay. I have not got this drop yet. I've been using Navigator, so shouldn't have anything to change here. Let's go in, and we'll do 5. Tyler, I am uncertain about that. I wanted to come on here. I do appreciate that you guys are like, I can't even believe I just come back after 2-3 years. I haven't put out any content for this game, and you guys are right on top of it. I just come back for one random stream, and you guys are right here. It's baffling. It kind of blows my mind a little bit that you guys are just like so involved in this game and actually keeping up with my content, because I thought, no way anybody would even know who I am or even care. But that's why I'm just putting some stuff out here just to kind of show you and talk about, if you guys want to discuss some things, I'm fully open to, answer anything you guys want. As far as my future here, I really have no idea. The biggest hurdle, I mentioned it yesterday, is I'm in rookie one. This is the only account that I've even opened, and it's going to be, a process just to get this up to where it's actually usable. Of course, when we're talking. Oh no! I gotta stop going this way, I guess. I've seen a lot of the people that I play against, my opponents, they're going to the right. Let's see. I'm assuming with this Tailwind, you might even want to go for it. I probably should have just tried to beat it up over to land it high up on that fairway. I'm assuming you could probably clear the water if you wanted to and get up there in the rough for a pitch. It's probably the way I should have played it. Let's see if I can scramble, get out of this mess that I put myself in. Daniel MacArthur, too. Long time no see. It's crazy seeing you guys. So let's see if we can get out of this bed. Looks like I'll at least get away with birdie. At least it's not the end of the world mistake. Still definitely not what you want to do. Take away an opportunity. Of course, we're pretty close to max here. Just go a little bit extra to be on the safe side. Of course, I don't have my curl grid on, which I probably should have had on. Didn't have to plan on using it. Oh no! I definitely expected that to get over. I would have put more topspin on it had I thought with the momentum. Usually with that curl, it adds a little bit of momentum. One thing that I've noticed, and I mentioned this to you guys yesterday when I did that comeback right at the beginning. I said that the game, to me, it's changed since I've played it. It seems more forgiving. And case in point, that's kind of my example, is what just happened. I feel like everything's a little bit softer than it used to be. Softer as in, it'll land, it'll do more of a consistent rollout. So I've been seeing scores climb. I still keep up and watch some of you guys' scores that you guys post. And, they're definitely elevated. And it seems like some of the change, ever since they did this update where the grass is like visually shown better, it seems like everything's a little bit softer, more like you don't have as much more variability where something will land and it'll be, you don't have to worry about it. Like for perfect example, let's say you had a glitchy ball guide here, maybe 50-50 for it to, at one point in this game, it was like 50-50 for the ball guide to even be what it showed. But you don't have to worry about that anymore. As long as you keep it in the center of the shot circle and right around the target, it's consistent. Appreciate you coming, even though you're not playing the game. It's kind of like me. I mean, I'm in rookie one, for God's sake. Like, it's crazy. Just to kind of show you guys, I can come back here. I'm in the rookie one division, still not up to the promotion zone, but it's only going to take, as you guys can see, one win. So I can just come smash this. I can get the rookie two easily. Couple things standing in the way of me actually creating content on a regular basis here. One is this whole process of going rookie one, rookie two, rookie three, but then on top of that is maintaining it. Like, I don't know how up for the task of just always putting in that commitment. I'm sure as with other guys, I'm sure you guys have got a lot of things going on in your life. It's definitely hard to keep up with things. But I appreciate you guys being here. We're almost up to 40 strong. Definitely appreciate seeing you, Daniel, especially saying you don't even play. That's pretty crazy that you came just to see me stream. That's like baffling. Like nothing interesting going on here. We're just playing some rookie. Let's take a look. I forget what is this, the par 5? Okay, par 5. Okay, so I have been getting this one. I have to think about the shot. Okay, so we had a tailwind. Okay, I remember this all now. So pretty sure we'll probably go tight end. I'll at least equip it just in case. Of course, we might change it up on the fly. Thanks, guys. Appreciate everybody with the good luck comments. Definitely appreciate. Yeah, I still remember back in the day, the lob days, Daniel, when I had you in the training session. That was awesome. You were the one person that I had in my training session that just went on, that I know of, that just like took their game exponentially higher. And just, that's all they needed was just that one session to just, get them right where they needed to go on and do great things. This is very similar than the other win, so I'm surprised that they're, even saying that they changed this one. I'm assuming this is a fairness thing more than anything. They try to keep tailwinds on stuff like this just so people can get to the same spots, that type of thing. Of course, the other one, the first one that we played, it was pretty much, oh no, you gotta be kidding me. Should have curled it more. That's the first time I've had it got caught up in the rough. Had I known that, I definitely would have given it a little bit more oomph. The very first time I played it, I gave it too much oomph. And then, of course, the second bounce landed on the fairway. I'm up there by the rock. Of course, I think I still made the shot, though. So that's better than the alternative. I think what I just did might just be a dagger. I might not even be able to reach the hole. So this might have to be something we learn from. Of course, if I can get to see, and of course that one rolls straight through, no problem. I swear he landed pretty much identical to me. I think we're going to be good. But this is kind of exactly what I was mentioning. So I can kind of do this, and I can just kind of say, well, I want to land right over this bunker. So I can see this is like, what, 78%? And I just did it real fast. And who knows, maybe we can still get the drop too. So Nirvana, 3.9, 78. Is there any other factors I'm not thinking of? I think there might be some elevation here, going over some high ground. Let's try this. You can see I do have that ball guide a little bit shortened to the right. 2.5, let's go right there. Hopefully not run out of time. I do like the last 10 seconds on this game, very slow. It's like you have all day. I know we can still make this. I feel like I missed it because the camera's not giving me what I wanted. So a little disappointing there. We didn't put it in play. I definitely should have been able to give that a better run. I'm trying to think of what it feels like I over adjusted a smidge. It could be that last 10%. Maybe I shouldn't have put it. 2.2, maybe we're in business. 2.3. I believe that was the mistake, but of course I'm just guessing. But when it winds up to the right, I feel like maybe it took more of the hill, wound up to the right. So it's probably an over adjustment for a tailwind. Catching up on the comments, guys. Yep, thanks for everybody showing up. Appreciate the love from the chat. And amazing seeing you guys. Like, man, it's crazy. You guys have been here in this community 4 or 5 years, and it's just like still going strong. Pretty crazy. It's awesome to see, though. You guys are loyal to the game, and you just kind of always appreciate, seeing new stuff from the developers and whatnot. It's definitely a different tournament that I'm used to. This is my first ever tournament with new wind directions. And now this one, very weird. It was very similar. I definitely should have made that shot. I feel like those two albas, I really think that I just gave away. I definitely feel like I should have had both those. Everything else, probably deserved everything else, but I would have liked to have seen that ball in the fairway on that second one. And that first one, that pitch, I should have definitely never missed. Like that didn't even make sense. I should have played it much better with my spin, tried to straighten out that ball guide. But, you get called up in the chat, and you don't concentrate as hard. I'm more worried about, talking and just kind of hanging out as opposed to doing good performance. Definitely some lost focus, which is fine. It's not a big deal. I don't need this tournament for anything. I think it's worth striving for the top 10 for sure. So that's definitely something that I can try to grind out in the final round, for example. Oh, wow. So this is the first time I'm seeing this. Is it showing you that, like, does anybody in the chat, like, does this mean that this wind's going to be right to left? Like, am I seeing the exact wind that we're going to have before even going in? Which I swear isn't that what we had last round? Like on my other video, I feel like it was straight to the left as well. So if that's the case, it's very similar. If that's okay. Yeah, just making sure that is the right connection. So you can see it before you actually, so that's kind of cool. That's my first time realizing it, that you can, like, you don't have to physically go in and just do it blind. You can just at least have a preparation in mind before going to shoot, which that's a pretty cool thing, especially for the guys, like I mentioned, only doing one playthrough like me. Definitely any advantage that you can have is better, because obviously even those shots that I've missed so far, like what I wouldn't do for a second attempt, like if I just had one more time from that exact same spot, like I feel like I'm that much more likely to make it with the second look. Variances of the direction. Yeah, that makes sense. I'm assuming it's something to the effect of like 45 degrees or something. Could be, 20 degrees north, 20 degrees south, that type thing. And then I'm assuming that also magnitude, of course, it's going to be, I've been seeing that 2, 3, 4, 5. It's somewhere in that range for everything. Now, what have I been doing on this one? It's a wood. Have I been using, I think I've been using elevation. I definitely going to over adjust a little bit, but I also want to play wind effect on this, because that's where I've been struggling the most on this, is with the wind effect. It's been kicking pretty hard on me. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of plan for it ahead of time. Of course, I'm always looking for that spot that's just kind of not doing much with the guide. So that way, if I can go over like a grid, kind of like you see here, and then maybe I go spot adjustment. You can see this is about maybe a grid over. And that's kind of what I'm looking for. It's going to be essentially my wind effect. And then what was it, 4-1? I think it was 4-1. I had that in there. Let's try that. Still short and still left. So this is just showing you, you know, that wind effect, but plus might have probably a combination. No, I think my wind effect was probably good. It means I'm short on the adjustment. So if, what was that, 3-6, 4-1? I probably need to go like 4-3 here. So max plus 15, 4-3. That's probably what I'll try on the back. Yeah, and I'll try to, and what I try to do, so, you know, you can't be too static with your, you know, offset for sure. Like a 2 versus a 3 versus a 4, they all got to kind of come in. Like, since that was so close to almost a 4, I'm kind of playing it almost a full grid over. If it's more of a 2, maybe I'm playing it, I don't know, 3/4 of one. I'm just kind of scaling how much that wind effect is going to play. Definitely something that you always have to keep in mind. And of course, having another go would definitely be a nice thing. But that's what the back's for, I guess. So we'll try to get a little bit more precise coming up. Practice tokens. I have seen the practice tokens. I used one earlier today, but of course the wind was what I don't think the wind was the same though. That's the only disadvantage to the practice. I thought that when I used it, it gave me a different direction, like 90 degrees different, and like that's not helpful for my shot. It is useful, and in fact, if you watch the video that I had, it did give me the ability to just go and like, can I pull this shot off type thing? Like, is it going to lead to total disaster if I do that? And that is definitely the good thing for the practice mode, without question about that. What's this next one? 8. So this wind has been tricky for me. I've got this one once. I've missed it once. Or no, I've missed it twice. Missed it twice, got it once. I've been using this, but it's been wind in the face. I don't know if the wind's going to be in the face. Oh, well, I probably should have just looked. It is, yeah, it's still, I still consider this in the face. One thing that I know is the farther I get it up, the better. So I am probably going to try to still go full ball here, which has been landing me pretty close. And that's one of the advantages that I see. Some of these guys, they have like these crazy balls I've never even seen, with like top spin boosts and everything. And they've been pulling them out for this hole, and really getting up there a long way. They get up probably about at least 20 yards farther than me. Yeah, Stuart, not giving up playing, more so giving up Golf Clash. I've been bouncing around a lot of different games, just kind of playing when I can. Still, I try to play more casually, more than anything. And of course, I do really like that Ultimate Golf game. You know, of course, I'm assuming not for everybody, but it does have real courses, real wins, stuff like that. This game, completely different feel, so I do understand, you know, it's hard to play this game and then be like, oh, I'm going to change everything and go play Ultimate Golf. It totally makes sense, you know, not being able to just jump up and do that. We are going to stick with this ball, I guess. I like the power 3 option because I want to take this bunker more out of play. in case I do great ball this or something. I want to make sure that I have a little bit of freedom. Oh no! That was not a good. That was my worst shot so far. That was not good. That's the reason that I kept that ball on, because I was like, there's no way I'm going to do that. And guess what? I still did it. Kind of hoping this guy doesn't make this. And more so because I don't want him to bail me out. It's like I want to earn that birdie. Or, you know, because I'm assuming that I'm probably not going to be able to go to the pin. So I want to be able to hit my third shot. All right. This was a really, really nasty shot. I should not be here. Big mistake. So my goal is to get it down as far as possible. It seems like the smart thing to do. Of course, it's important to make sure that I can actually do what I'm trying to do. Of course, that's a perfect. Stay in. How's dunking in this game? I've tried a few, but it seems harder. Maybe I'm just, you know, more out of practice, but it definitely seems like there's more variance in maybe your release being a little bit north or a little bit south of the hole. Here's min. We got small wind. I wonder if I could maybe miss this dunk and get this to come back in. .9. This is all stuff you should prep ahead of time. That's too much. Well, there's one. Not enough change. Hey, Sandman, good to see you. 20 ring power slice, gotcha. I wanted to try to stay in the fairway, just, you know, kind of make the shot a little bit easier. Plus, you know, I got to do something that I wouldn't have got to do otherwise. I got to go for the dunk, which that's pretty cool. You know, I guess I could have still did it from the rough, but I do find something with a little bit more loft comes in just a little bit easier. So I do like doing it with either a wedge or a short iron in comparison, just because the arch angle's a little bit higher. At least I made that. I've made plenty of mistakes in this round, though. I feel like my concentration is not where it needs to be to do the right thing. Okay, so this is going to be straight in the face. That's quite the difference. I'm actually a little worried about that wind. I've been doing katanas, getting it to Bigfoot range. Not Bigfoot. What am I thinking? B52. Started with a B. And we're going to try to do it again, I guess, is is the goal here. Try the same shot. What I've been seeing, I saw one guy do it. He went out straight on this one and then went for a rough bump. I actually kind of like that approach. But I've been making it so many times with this. Oh, wow. I mean, that is just straight in the face, though. I bet you I can't even get it over there. That's the one we needed on the last hole. I'll be surprised if this even makes it. It did. So it's not like the other one that got hung up. I don't even know why I'm going to this spot, though. I really, this distance, it might not even be makeable or that makeable. I'm worried that it's almost going to push into hammerhead from there, and then you're just going to have to do like a full backspin shot, which is going to be hard to make. This is what I've been seeing. Some guys go straight, but what I also see is, you know, sometimes it might roll through not the way that the guide shows, and you can potentially get caught in that rough, it seems. I'm not sure. I haven't seen too many. I haven't seen anybody make it from over there yet, but I'm assuming that it's very makeable with straight wind. That's kind of the allure of doing it. So it's kind of crazy that I keep going this way, but I've almost made this every time. I probably shouldn't have said that because I'm probably going to talk myself out of it now. But so we are close to max. Like I said, probably should have had this prepped. My mistake. Close to max, 2.7, 2.8. And this is what I was worried about, is the fact that you have to put so much backspin on it because it's at max club. I've been at min and you haven't had to use this much backspin, which is a lot more desirable. Probably not making this. But of course I did keep the ball guide out to the left. You got to play some wind effect, which is what I'm doing. And you can see that it's just cutting into the hole, and sure enough, I was able to get the drop. For some reason, I like it over there. I've made it. Well, is that every time? So I think I've made it every time so far. I've been played it all 3 days. I think this is like a really good looking shot. I really do, but I haven't seen anybody make it. So I've been worried to go over there because I'm. You know, don't mess with a good thing. If you keep making something, maybe you don't want to go over there and do it this way. Yeah, see you guys lighting up the chats. Appreciate it. Finally did something worth watching. Is it in? So close. You guys want to do some more? 15 under. That's probably what I would consider very marginal front. There's 2 shots specifically that, and one for sure. Like I don't think there's any reason I should have ever missed that pitch on 3. For sure. I would have liked a better opportunity on 6 for sure. Had an actual fairway look there would have been nice. You guys want to keep going? So we can go. We can hop into the back if you guys want. You know, I don't know what you guys are thinking in terms of, wow, we're actually up to 48. This is crazy. I cannot believe all you get that. Thank you guys so much for coming out. This is like spur of the moment, and we still got 50 people here, like for me to shoot rookie. Like, it doesn't even make sense. It's like the craziest thing. But nevertheless, you know, we're going to have some fun. I did, you know, for some of the guys who might not have caught the beginning, we got a technique in place. Of course, it's using this guide for ultimate golf. For those that, you know, I just want to come back here. It is, yes, it's for ultimate golf, you know, but you don't have to use the ring calculator. There's still a tool. And this is actually the mesh tool that I play with. As far as it integrating into, notebook, like I mentioned, it's free in the store. So since it's free in the store, it's too much work to bring this over to notebook. So probably staying here. This is my curl grid, and this version of it, if you guys can see it, there's a little yellow draw. I drew this earlier in the stream, and this is the yellow curl that we want to kind of make our next attempt on this 10th hole. Are the winds the same front to back? Do you guys mind? I just want to make sure that I'm not assuming anything. Like I was assuming that front and back are gonna maybe not be the exact magnitude, but are they gonna be the same direction? So they're not the same. They're different front to back. Wow. Okay. And I'm actually seeing that right here. I mean, this is very unique. So we got to do a completely different. So this is what I've been doing, exactly what this guy's about to do. And that's why I left this shot, because it's not holeable. You're not going for the hole to do this. And that's the reason that I'm not doing it anymore. And for those of you who watch me on the front, we tried a shot that we were not really familiar with, but we pulled one practice attempt. And I showed you guys that video early on, and I showed you my thought process as to why I was picking this spot, that type of thing. So there's a specific spot that we're going towards. This is the way that guy just played it is the way that I've played it every round until today. I just decided this morning, why am I not going for the shot? Because who knows, you might make it. Especially come weekend time. So what I'm going to do with this one, we're definitely going to go more topspin. So I'm going to go about a full bar extra. And this is the reason that I'm picking this spot. Do you see the hole under this tree? It means if I land this ball here, there is an adjustment that leads to the hole there. So with that being said, that's the reason for me picking this spot. We're going to go right around one per ring. I'm actually going to go a little bit under what I did with this yellow. So you are going to see me just come in just a hair to the left here. There's a reason for it. It's because of the wind direction. I'm worried that it's going to cut too much. I shouldn't have came in. But why is it there? It shouldn't even be there. I should have went full curl is the way that... Did I have all my side spin on? I don't know if anybody saw. I'm trying to figure out why it's over by that tree, because I feel like it should have been at least, I mean, I didn't even hit a great ball there. It should have been at least a yard or two over. Minimum to the, because it really shouldn't be coming in at an angle that's close to this tree at all. Now, we talked about this before. This full zoomed out. What is that? 10%. But we're going to have to do some over, even if I was to, so I can't even do that spot. I know this is going to play. I just don't know how much. 15%. I think it's going to overplay this, though. And I'm thinking at least 1-1. I would say at least this. It's because it's so downhill. So when you're up here on this hill, this is going to be in the air more than it ever would be otherwise. It's too much. Too much. So I know I probably had to make it play. And another thing, I really don't know how much that percent actually was. I was just kind of sizing it up. And of course, I'm doing it very quick. The first time I'm even using the tool like this, okay? So there's got to be some kind of learning curve to learning it, figuring out, am I using the right percentage? But I know my logic is right in assuming that this is a downward plane, the ball goes in the air longer, it is affected by more wind. And it's weird because the game, and this is the reason that I know that my logic there is sound, is because at Ultimate Golf it's the opposite. It does the exact opposite of what you think it does. What it does is, since it's down on lower ground, it lowers the shot arc, like on that game, the physics, and it plays less. So you would have played less wind on a downhill lie like that in that game. And in this game, and that's one of the main reasons that I know that I have to play it more than what the standard is. Now, how I go about calculating standard, obviously it's going to need more work. I need more time to learn this, the subtle nuances of this game. Yep, I am back, Roy. Thanks for showing up. I'm going to try to read through some of these comments. So just give me a minute, bear with me. Yep, Sandman, seeing you up there talking about that. That's the reason that I'm using this tool. I just wanted to kind of show you, just so I can reiterate here, just so you can see it on the screen, the Guide for Ultimate Golf. We developed this. We were like, what do golfers need? And we wanted to make sure that we took care of all of those needs when we thought about how to create the tool. So this tool, it's the easiest, most versatile thing that you could ever want from a grid overlay. It'll do whatever you need it to, and that's one of the main reasons that we designed it the way that we did. Now, yes, it is in that game, but like I said, it's free to download. You just have to watch just a couple of ads to create an object. Every object you try to create, it's one ad. So earlier in this video, I drew this line on the screen. You can see it. That's what I just used on that shot. You can see it right here on the left of my screen. It's that grid. It's the full span of Voodoo. So when I go in Golf Clash here, or Nirvana, mixed up on games, there's some bleed over. But here's what you'll see. I can toggle them on and off. And yeah, this is the way I created them. I created it to where it's just 3 different elements here. And you can see, clicking on one, it's just one ad that you'll have to do to create that one. And if you wanted to just shorthand it, you could just do this with just one line if you wanted. The segmented line lets you, these tools are all together. So you can see this one object is just one tool. It's just like one element is that entire segment that you're seeing on the screen there. So that is that. Yep, I understand about the practice. Did anybody, if somebody mentioned it, is the practice win the same though, or can it be anything? Like, if I would have hit the practice button, would it have been in the face, or could it have been a side wind, tailwind? Like, do you have to sort through winds when you go to push that button? That's what I don't know about the practice. It's the same. Okay. Gotcha. The other question I have about the practice, how do you earn those? So I'm assuming you have to play. How do you get the practice tokens? You have to just play more golf, I'm assuming. You play rounds, you win practice tokens. Is that the... Yeah, it's crazy. Like, coming back to this game, like I used to be a thesaurus. Like, I was a dictionary for this game. Like, I knew everything. I swear absolutely 100% certain knew more about this game than probably almost any developer that you could ask. Like, I had this game down to an absolute science, and now I feel like coming back into it, it's like, okay, well, that, like, all this has changed, and right now I almost belong in rookie because I just don't know most of the simple stuff that I don't understand. So I still understand the advanced concepts, but I have no basic knowledge of how the game operates, which is crazy. It's like a crazy feeling to have. It's definitely something that just takes some experience, and like I said, I wouldn't even necessarily say that I was like really good. Like, I feel like there's a skill component to this game, but it's so much memory, and like I always feel the actual best players of the game are the ones that study it and want to dissect it and want to shoot 6 rounds. And then it's almost like they're like just absorbing all that knowledge and then utilizing it. So the best way that you're going to get better and be able to get yourself to that level is just through repetition. So you guys have seen me make some mistakes. This round so far, it's been filled with them. Of course, the pitch on the last hole, I over-adjusted, no question about it. On the front side, I probably over adjusted another Nirvana that I really realistically thought that it's weird. I've hit perfect balls on all those rough shots. I've been perfect on my needle timing, but I'm missing shots. It's one of those things that, the more, like, even a second, third, fourth, by the fourth time I shoot that shot, I'm going to be draining it. It's just this is only the first time that I'm seeing it. So you're seeing like some sloppiness. So it's like one of those things that you just need to, it's really about repetition, but at the same time, it's about absorbing that knowledge. So do something with a purpose. Perfect example, last adjustment, I went, like 1.1 rings. I absorbed that and I learned from it instead of just saying, oh, I went this, like, that's it. That's the end of it. Like you almost fixate on it until you're like, oh, I just have to come in on it this much for next time. When you make that mistake, and then in the long run, you're going to be more prepared down the road. I am not on Clash Caddy. This is the Golf Clash Notebook. So Golf Clash Notebook here. Very similar to the way, well, it's the same that it always was. So, in terms of the ring adjustments, nothing has changed. As far as I know, the rings still are computed the exact same as they ever used to be. The changes on the game seem to be more... maybe new courses, new format, stuff like that. Like all this fit, like this back nine being totally different wins. Like that's brand new to me. So I got to check this one out because I want to at least have some purpose by going to this. Okay, so this is almost like the qualifier. So I think on the qualifier it was more of a diagonal. This is going to be more of a side. So the one thing that I want to do is I want to avoid wherever I go to set up for this one, I want to make sure that I don't land it long this time. I feel like I've been landing this long every time, and I'm not 100%. So, full disclosure here, I still have yet to get this one. I know this one's very particular. So if you guys are struggling with this hole as well, for whatever round, if you guys are an expert, master, whatever, the best advice that I have is to just be exact. Like, it has to be exact. I know that if I'm half a yard north of wherever I go to set up here, it is not going in. So it has to come and land on that spot. Wherever I go to set up, this is my spot. It needs to land here. If it doesn't land here, it is not going to go well. So you can see I'm right on this brown patch. That's what I've been using because I can use it as a reference. That's the reason I've been picking this spot. You know, you guys might have your own strategies for why you pick the spots that you're picking. The biggest reason that I'm so fixated on this right now is just because I can use it as a land. So this camera right here, if I was to go back and watch this video, I could say, okay, so that landed on the brown, that landed short. So I needed to pull that up, or I needed to just overpower it slightly. So I can just use it as a reference to kind of figure out what I should have done. If I just utilize, you know, blades of grass or like halfway in between, I can't really know. So that's the only reason. And of course, my first train of thought is I want to find the spot that's reliable to where I can land a little bit short or I can land a little bit long. And from what I've scoped so far, there's not a spot like that. So there's a very small margin that you can miss by on this shot. This is the spot that we're all picking. It's very, very hard to hit. I haven't played with anybody that have made it, but I've seen in my bracket guys that have made it. You just have to be so precise on this one. And of course, having the smaller wind, definitely huge advantage. Getting that down to a 1-2 miles per hour, definitely going to increase your holeability. That one looked pretty good, but just coming up a little bit short. Yeah, that would be cool to do a stream. I have no problem just kind of having some fun. If you guys are open for, I have no problem playing with you guys, or if you guys want to put up and decide on some kind of stream where we do some tour friendlies, like I'd be totally. I honestly, I would have always been fine with that. Like. Just because I left the game doesn't mean that I even did. I think Jeff Cadente, he reached out to me when he hit 1,000 subs, and I think I played at least a hole or two with him on a stream that he did. So yeah, I'm not opposed to hanging out, when I can, and of course, putting together just a little bit of content for you guys to, do whatever you can with. This is basically a stream for fun. Like, we're not taking the game too serious. So we're just hanging out. I'm free. I'll keep answering you guys' questions. If you guys have some, yep, I am still involved with the Notebook app. Ian, of course, like he's not really that interested in pursuing Golf Clash. It's kind of the way that things just dissolved with the developers of Golf Clash, Playdemic. I'm assuming so. I don't even know what the chain of command is anymore, because I know they sold Warner Brothers, then I think they sold to EA. I don't even know if it's the same people in charge. I have no idea. It's not news that I keep up with, but the one thing that I do know is, Ian, he's the one that actually has all the information and everything for posting, and you can actually see when you go to, Golf Clash Notebook, it's in his name. And, if he's kind of away from Golf Clash and doesn't really want a part of it, then I'm on board with that. Because we were really, we were trying to talk with those guys early on about, cooperating with them on all this stuff, and it just turned into a huge mess and really left everybody feeling unsatisfied. And with that being said, just the way things went down, it's just kind of one of those things that it's just like you move on from. It's not a big deal. And that's one of the reasons that you don't, I still see, your guys' scores that get posted. Like I just kind of read it from, like, from perfect example. For the last couple years, it's crazy. Like every 3, 4, 5 days, like I'll get like a random message on a post that just like on a YouTube video that just says, "Hey Zach, we miss you. Like, are you ever coming back to Golf Clash? Like, please." Like, and it's just the craziest thing. I still read the stuff. I just kind of leave it on the back burner because I really don't know. And even still, like I still don't know. So that's interesting to read, that the customer support really hasn't changed. So it's kind of still more or less the same. But yeah, I have no problems, streaming with other guys. If you guys have some time that you want to reach out to me and just say, hey, let's stream and do this. Like, yeah, no problem. Let's take a look. Hole 12. Oh, Tailwind. So this is the first time I've seen this. My initial thought with this wind is to find a different ball. It's actually funny. I don't know if you guys, I don't even think we've really even discussed this, but if you guys seen my ball stash, it's like, it's pretty funny because it's very archaic. Of course I'm pretty sure, yeah, so if these are the oldest, this is like literally the oldest. Like, so I still have the Easter ball. But like the very first Easter ball. This was like pre-tournaments, before tournaments even existed. But if you go through, and then of course they came out with the Berserker, and then July 4th, Memorial Day, stuff like that. This is very early. So when you look at my balls, like everything is just like so ancient ago. This new one, I don't know how I got this Spirit Ball, but I only got one of them, and this is the only thing that I have that I think I see with the topspin boost. Not sure how you earn these balls, but pretty cool that I got one. Not sure how I did it. I probably just signed in at the right time when they were doing an event, giving away something. I don't know. But my balls, it's just kind of funny looking at the stuff that I have. But my goal on this one is to go with something. It's either that or I have to back off the Berserker. I guess we'll just do that since I have so many Berserkers. It's the easiest thing to throw away. Just going to catch up on the chat a little bit. Give me a second. Yep, that's what I figured, Needle Lag. Free gift. Because I know I didn't buy it. Yeah, so that's what I've been hearing. Joe Cook, sorry to throw him under the bus here, but he did reach out to me yesterday, and I did ask him some questions. He did, kind of catch me up on that, letting me know, oh, yeah, you have to pay for this. So I've been kind of seeing some of these new balls, and just kind of the stats are very interesting just to be able to see, something a little bit different. It's definitely different than the game than I'm used to. So here's the biggest thing that I was worried about, which is overkilling this. We're going to try to do maybe a little bit more side spin because of the tailwind. Of course, the winds are so small, like I mentioned. I'm not much of a reference wind player, but I have been playing this reference aiming. Just because the winds are so small, there's less variable. So I do want to come somewhere right in here, I'm thinking, and of course, power-wise, we're going to go very minimal. I mean, very. I'm worried about this maybe not hooking as much because I'm underpowering it so much. It's still launched. Unbelievable. That's the. I should have just used a Titan. I feel like I did that all for nothing. Like a no power berserker has to be a Titan. Like that was probably a dumb decision. Okay, let's prep this second wind. We're gonna try to get this one this time. Of course, we're not gonna. I wonder if. No, I'm not sure. I wonder if. So if the last time I did use that Nirvana shot with the 15, I was wondering if maybe that is an impact of why I missed the last Nirvana I missed. Because, you know, I might not have tried to intentionally have that 50. I'm not even sure. I'm just speculating. Just trying to figure out why my Nirvana play has been lackluster, to say the least. Oh, so we're going to try to land short here. This is, and you know, this is just something we can size up fast. As you can see, 40-some%. And we just created this today. So this is one of those things, like I was mentioning to you guys earlier. So, you know, this doesn't even make sense. Like, why? Yeah, so something's a little fishy here. Why did I go back on that little pitch shot I did? If this is one ring, how on earth could that one by the green be one ring? That doesn't even make sense. I obviously did something wrong on that hole, and I just have no idea what it was. I'm assuming that I didn't even put the spin on. Yet another sloppy play. I'm assuming I just put it there and then didn't even move the guide. If anybody's paying attention, I'm doing too much trying to almost like I'm not really focused on the play. I don't know if anybody's noticing, but my play is definitely lackluster at best. I'm assuming there I didn't even put any top spin on. I just figured out where I wanted to land, didn't even touch the guide is what happened because I'm so far short. It's like, and you know, it pains me to see me hit the perfect ball again. But what I don't understand is how could I at 48% have a one ring adjustment and on that pitch right by the green go one ring? That doesn't even make sense to me. So obviously what I did on that hole was totally wrong. It was probably overplay by, you know, I don't know what that wind was, but I obviously did something, you know, horrendously wrong there because even this is showing 0.4. I shouldn't have gone anywhere more than 0.5 maybe back on that one pitch. And I'm just backtracking, just trying to figure out some things and just get a little bit more on the right page because obviously I'm doing some crazy crap. Yeah, appreciate it, Daniel. I'm just obviously just hacking it up over here. So we are on another par 4 or par 3. This is the one I got already. I feel confident with this adjustment. You guys saw what I did on the front. We're going to do very similar. The only thing I'm going to try to do, you know, and I only say this not to jinx myself, just to be preemptive about it, is I want to try to avoid the great ball here because I definitely think I should get this one. So we're going to try to make it happen. This is the wrong ball. Of course, I can use that ball, but we don't need a lot of side spin on this one. Tommy, I'm assuming, are you mentioning change the ball setting on the app? Is that a comment to the filtering process of like how my default is set? Because if it is, that's one of the things that I've been trying to do. I'm wondering why it's always set to newest, because I don't want it to be. So I like, is there a way to make it something else? Because I would prefer it to be set to the oldest so I can find the ball I'm looking for. So 3.5 rings here. Perfect ball. I have a good feeling, I hope. I'm not sure I love that camera view. I did go just a hair more, and it still wasn't enough. Biggest reason I went a tad more is because it was a little bit of a headwind. I thought it was going to need just a hair more adjustment. I almost went 3.6, and I still don't think, well, I don't know for sure that it was like precise 3.6, but I do feel that I was leaning more towards 3. I know it was more than I've been going. It still wasn't enough. It couldn't have been, because when it lands to the right, it stays right. Yeah. So it had to be at least. Almost went 37 there in that situation. It's also the first time I've seen that direction, so I'm not 100% sure that there's no wind effect, with 4 miles per hour. Maybe part of the reason the shot that is going in is because they've been left pointed winds. As soon as you get a right, that could be another reason why, just a little bit of ball guide deflection to the right. So it's possible that the ring adjustment I did was true-ish. Maybe like I mentioned, maybe leaning more towards 3.6, but on top of that, you might have to just factor in just a tad bit more because of some deflection. Definitely a possibility. But that is the brakes. So this is a side wind. Of course, we had the headwind, or we had the tailwind. I think I should have just tried to bomb it over the water. Man, I'll tell you, I feel like I have to start getting a little aggressive just to make something happen. Let me see here if I go back and see if somebody has an answer for this. Yeah, Stuart, I'm in Rookie 1 division, so I don't think I could join what you're mentioning. I don't have the capability of getting up that high. It's going to take me maybe 8 weeks, like if I actually do this week in, week out, and just, play a couple tour games. It's going to take me a little bit to get up there. I'm not saying it's out of the realm of possibility. It could happen that I stick around and just try to do some stuff. I could see you guys are, relatively supportive and just, happy to see some content, even though I'm, totally just kind of playing very blasé at the moment. Minus 30 when close, around to the green. Plus 20, plus, yeah. So one thing I know about that EB that you just mentioned, the fact of the matter that you're playing that extra, I know for a fact it has to do with some of that wind effect. You have to play that extra, because if you don't, that wind effect is just going to be, nowhere near where it needs to be. So usually what happens is it scales on like small wins, maybe 5, and then large wins, you have to bump it up. I remember back before I even left going 20, maybe even 30% on some extra. It's because like in this game, we developed it, the ring adjustment in the notebook to be spot adjustment. We didn't try to factor in overplay. It means there's no way those values are ever going to be true, especially on shots like that where you're trying to use the guide. You have to play that, significantly over, especially on high winds for sure. Towards max club, the more you get more towards max. Hey guys, thanks for the shout out there. We're gonna come back. I'm thinking about getting a little aggressive on this next one, even with the side wind. Why not? I probably wouldn't do this if I was on my own, but since we're in stream mode, let's just see what it looks like. Okay, so let's take a look here. At least even see if this is even a possibility. I'm assuming some version of this has to be. So let's try to get it down there. Nothing to lose at this point. I might just come in on this slightly because I don't want it to overshoot. One thing I do remember about this game is it's very easy to overshoot things when you're pointed at higher ground. Oh! Probably curled that just a tad bit much, and on top of it, you could probably see I under adjusted. When I point to higher ground plus go full max, probably 4 or 5 rings. The 5 rings I went probably not enough. I probably should have went 7. I probably should use the notebook app more than I do, because it's probably something to the effect of this on that shot, minimum. And if that was 4.5, it's still showing in the app. 4.5. I still don't even think that's enough, though. I'd probably go 6 rings, at least in that situation. Let's just see what this looks like. Let's see if we can't do something right with Nirvana for once. So first things first, we do want to land right on the front of that green. That's 46% uphill. So I'm assuming I'm going to have to under adjust this. So even if I do use 46% or so, we're still going to under adjust this. And the reason being, uphill, less time in air, 0.8 has to be a ceiling adjustment. I would imagine there's no way it goes this far. So I'm going to go maybe 1/10 of a ring less. It's because this is so much more above. Another perfect. Finally made something. Oh, that's the first time I've made this hole too, so I feel like I should be more aggressive on this hole because it's weird. I keep playing it over to the left there. Haven't made it once. I go over the water, make it. I've seen a lot of guys go to the right. I didn't see what this guy does. I was too busy either talking or thinking about setting up my shot. But you could see how fast, like, did you guys see that, if you guys do go back and do a replay, if you guys did miss me setting that up, but do you see that grid off to the left? That is that Nirvana 9 full ring span. So that's how I'm just like real quick coming up with a good approximation for slider position in just one. But the key is it has to be full zoomed out. It's only calibrated to full zoom out. So you do have to make that take that extra time to take it to that exact spot. But you can see on top of it, you still have to think about those secondary factors like that you always have to. So like, what did I say before I even did that adjustment? I was like, okay, the app's telling me 0.8, but I know I'm not going 0.8. And the reason why is because it's so much more elevated, it has to be less adjustment than that. So these are still concepts that you have to always think about on your shots. Another one would have been, let's just say hypothetically, say the wind's 10 to the side. We would have still needed to factor in wind effect. So we need to know how much is Nirvana wind effect. And that's something that I can't even answer at this point. I'm going to have to go relearn. I'm going to have to go refigure out, okay, that Nirvana is going to deflect, 0.4, 0.5, like however much it is. Like that's just something that it's either that or you have to offset that guide, one or the other. So definitely always keep that in mind, and don't just play stat. Like here's what I do like about rookie, and even coming back to rookie, it just gives you a starting point. It lets you figure things out with very little wind to where you can figure out the most and absorb the most knowledge about the game, and then take that knowledge to the higher level. Because once you have that base and say, okay, I know, once you could say for certain and just say, okay, I know that Nirvana, it's going to go, like in the example of that last shot, I know that Nirvana is going to go 0.7 before I even hit it. Like I just know it's a 0.7 adjustment. Once you can take that and just have that knowledge and then go to masters and be worrying about, okay, this is a 12 win now. How much is the extra ball guide deflection going to be on top of that? Like these are the things, what should my ball guide deflection be, or how much more over adjustment should I go? It gives you a nice base to establish yourself and know this is like a true adjustment. This is how much the true adjustment needs to be, and then you still need to consider the wind this much more. So it just gives you a good foundation. A POC 4, I would definitely not try. Maybe the best tailwind that you ever see, if you land on the northmost spot like I did. But I would not recommend. So keep in mind, my top spin on this is pretty good. I can't remember what it is offhand. 90. So the good players would have told me to switch to Thor's hammer there. Of course, I'm very lazy. Plus, I don't have a clan, so I don't have additional bags. I didn't bring it, but you could see top spin 98. That little bit of so keep in mind I wasn't using a curl shot, so Thor's hammer is the better club there for sure. It's more laziness than anything as to why I played it the way that I did. But we got the drop, so that's all that matters. 15, it is... What is this shot? This is the one that I hop on the fairway and it didn't roll through last time. A little bit of a tailwind. That's good. Let's go back to the Titan. Are we on Titan? I think we're on Titan. I just used it. So let's go in, use it. Blast from the past. Yep. Appreciate you guys being here. It's crazy. We keep seeing new guys come in and they're just like... Everybody's just like so shocked to see me here playing Golf Clash. Truth be told, like yesterday, like when I posted that, just video on my channel, like a couple guys, I think they mentioned, hey, you should come back and stream. I'd like to see you or whatnot. And So I was like, okay, yeah, like I'll I'll come put on some random stream, but don't expect too much out of me because it's just gonna be some rookie kind of joke. Like I'm assuming like there's probably a lot of guys at some place like just laughing their ass off right now, just like, oh, he's playing rookie. But you got to start somewhere. It's funny if like I don't know if you guys have seen this, but I think so. I almost remember this vividly. When I started this account, this is my primary. You see, I have one rookie banner on this account, and that's it. It's the only time I've ever and this one was this one down here. These are just like me not playing. So like that pro was like way after the fact. I don't remember. I think we were on like protest. It's just some crazy circumstances. But so the only time that I played really in the first tournament, when this game first integrated tournaments, and I think at that time I was in rookie too. Because it was like the third weekend game that they finally came out. Like the third week I was in game out with a tournament. So they came out with this tournament, and then, I'm already in rookie too, so I didn't get to do it too long. So it was the only time that I played rookie. And then I went straight to pro. There was that one time that I only had a couple pros. I think I played 2 in pro because I was in pro 1 and then pro 3, and that was it. The reason that I wound up with more pros, I think there was a time that we started protesting because I don't remember. There was something about brackets or something, and we were just like, okay, let's all go pro because we're gonna basically just say they need to start up in rewards or something. Like I don't even remember at this point. It's been too long after the fact. But that's kind of the gist as basically why I went back into and got some more pros. It's circumstances like that. And then stuff like this, like where I didn't qualify, it was basically just not playing. I forgot or something. I've done this a bunch, and and one of the things that's cool about the Ultimate Golf is if you casually don't get through your round, like you don't have to feel pressured. Where I feel like you definitely get pressured on this game because it's like, okay, well, there's this round, then there's this round, then there's this round, and it's like it's almost like you have to keep going. Where I feel like you don't feel that same pressure because you don't even have to finish a round. Like if you don't finish a round, like you can't qualify. Like it's one of those deals. So you could play 8 holes and don't like it doesn't matter if you have 17 under. If you don't finish that 9th, you're not qualifying. All right, let's try to concentrate and make this. I've never played this on the green yet. We are towards max. I didn't even know that 3-5. Let's try to make this. I'm really worried about how much backspin I need to apply here. I didn't want to play this shot like this, but I'm going to. I'm going to go 3-6 rings if I can. I didn't want to play this shot like this. I did want to play it off the fairway. It's still just a hair less. I did go the 3-6. It still wasn't enough. It's because of the wind effect plus the bounce effect. On all that backspin, it's making it cut just a little bit harder. The wind effect. That's why I didn't want to play it that way because I thought it was going to be less forgiving. But it was the first time that I've been that far back, and with me talking on the stream, I wasn't decisive. I didn't have a plan walking up. What I wanted to do was play it off the fairway, roll it up there a little bit. And I obviously I didn't do that and just missed the shot as a result. Yeah, the rookie obviously is a little bit more tougher for me than it should be, though, because I'm obviously not making very good work of it. Lots of mistakes here, I would say. Well, especially, I mean, if you look at my perfect balls, I feel like I've been too good. Like I realistically on an actual shot that was droppable, not off the tee. That one disaster tee shot. I don't think I've had anything that wasn't perfect yet. So obviously, I feel like I should be shooting better than I am. So very sloppy to say the least. I'm leaving a lot on the table. Let's go to Navigator. So let's get in here. This is, what did I do last time? I didn't go enough. Oh man, you know what? I didn't even look at that wind. Did anybody see it? Does anybody know if it was right or left or straight? I'd rather have a plan going in here. I remember I under adjusted last time, but that's all I know. Tailwind. Okay, this has to be an easier wind. And of course, thank goodness I'm not right on the spot. Drago or Dr. Forgo, appreciate the kind words. I definitely like the original lob. It's kind of disappointing the way that all that turned out. With Steve and everything like splitting up and the way that everything went down. It's crazy. I feel like, I've always tried to put out content for people, never, really tried to butt heads with anybody. But it just comes with the territory, I feel. So let's take a look here. With this tailwind, I really feel I should make this. So let's try to get it. We're going to play a little bit of wind effect, plus 15. Why not? 3-4. We're going to offset just a tad. Somewhere in here. So we did offset just a tad to the left. I'm assuming this isn't going in because it's not coming in very nice. Okay, I'm wrong. I just thought that the camera wasn't that good. But like I said, I did see a more tailored wind. I like that wind. When I see a hole like this, especially when I'm using topspin, I don't like to see side winds, right or left. Not very appealing to the eye. When you see something more straight like this, that just means, just a little bit more straight effect. It's just going to kind of straighten that line out a little bit more. So if you see my offset just a little bit, it's not even really going to even play much offset because it's just going to kind of extend the ball guide farther straight, which is a good thing. As you can see, I just slammed the pin a little bit. I didn't want to leave it short. You saw me on the front. I left it probably, if I would have had that dead on line, it probably would have stopped, 2 rotations short or something. I wanted to make sure that didn't happen. Slam the pin. Thankfully, it didn't slam off of it. But thanks, guys, for... let's see if we can take a look at this wind. That's left wind. What's this hole? Okay, no, that's a good win. I think that's a great win for this hole. That's going to make this tee shot super easy. We're going to back off to a katana, I feel. Nah. And the only reason I don't want to go katana is because I don't want to... There's a reason that I'm trying to use the side. So the second shot, I really don't like the fairway. I feel like it's wasteful to use a kingmaker. I don't need it. It's funny that I say that because this is one of the holes that this is probably the worst hole that I've played. On the front was appalling. I definitely felt like I belonged in rookie when I played this on the front. The biggest reason for the so I definitely like extending the target above the bunker, like you guys saw that I did on the front. But for the second shot, there's a specific spot on the fairway, and it requires a generous amount of side spin. So that's the main reason for me keeping on a side spin ball, is because I want to make sure that, you know, assuming I actually hit this tee shot good this time, that we put ourselves in position in the fairway out there. All right, so I'm not sure distance-wise if I made it to Falcon. I'd love to make it to Falcon. I remember, so I haven't actually got up to Falcon distance. I played on the one of my qualifiers. Somebody used one of those mega topspin balls, and they got it up to Falcon distance. I was very jealous because the wind was so approachable, and when you can land on the green, I think you have a distinct advantage. So that's kind of what I'm hoping for here, is that I can land this on the green, because I think my likelihood of dropping it is going to be much higher. Thanks for joining, Nito. Appreciate you being here. Yeah, that's awesome, Daniel, that you're coaching the... Is that like youth league or something that you're doing? Like younger kids? So this is kind of what I was mentioning. I like to be up on this green with the target because the fairway's so jacked. And the reason that I put this kingmaker on is because way over here to the left, it's not as bad. And that's what I was going to put it to, and do a side spin shot like I did. So what is that? 2-3. I think that's an under adjust. So I'm going to go beyond 2-3. Oh my, I'm sickened by that. Can't go in. It can't. Are you serious? There's no way I under adjusted by that much, because I must have went 2-5 there. If that was still under adjust, like I feel grateful for that to go in, but I'm trying to even fathom if that could have been like realistically like 2-7 on the adjustment. Or if I just hit a lucky spot on the green that it just kind of held its line. Because I know I went healthy on that, you know, maybe it is an under adjust. I feel the reason that I wanted to put it on the green is because I thought it was going to roll out true. So thinking that it's going to roll out true, that means that I had to have under adjusted it. It had to be my mistake, and it just got lucky. So I'll take it. I'm surprised that I hit that great. So I think that's my first genuine great ball from just like and I've been in the rough 5 times. So I definitely, I can't blame that for being why I'm kind of stinking this round up. Let's see where we're going to be. We're still in at least, I'm assuming this isn't going to be like a good score in terms of when, this round is over or anything. But it is what it is. And we've been plugging along. Like I said, it's mostly about just putting some content out there for you guys. Another tailwind here. This wind I feel more confident about. I do like the sight of this. Of course, we want a side spin ball. We're going to go at this the same way that we've been going. So, like you saw me do on the front 9, we're going to go way over to the left. I don't know if that's a good idea, bad idea, or what. I've been making it, so I don't care. I don't care if it's a bad idea. I feel like you see these winds and you see, okay, if you just go out straight, you easily are going to make this with a rough bump or something. Like, but everybody I've played has missed that shot for whatever reason. So I'm just like torn going that way because I don't want to, break up my streak by going out this crazy way and making it. And that's why we got to try to stay focused and try to make it again. But this is what I see everybody doing. And it's actually interesting here because this is going to be more of a side wind for him. So I actually think this is actually maybe not even the greatest way to go. Just because of the side wind. Of course, being able to do the rough bump, definitely appealing. Mesh overlay. So MBS, I do have some content out there for you to set, like, so, in terms of overlay, your best bet is this Guide for Ultimate Golf app and using that. Now, there is some learning curve. You can play some of the beginning of the stream. I kind of go over some of that information. But on top of that, there's a help section that has some live tutorials showing you how to do things in there as well. As I told guys earlier, as far as integrating that into the notebook app, probably not going to happen because it's free for you guys to go over there and download that. Like that's the reason that we installed that option the way that it is because we wanted to be able to bring guys something for free to where they don't have to pay. So, you can have full functionality of everything that I draw on my screen or whatever, like whatever your creative mind can fathom, you probably can do it. There's even a free form. In fact, you can see I have my curl grid on. You can see that bottom line there. It's drawn crooked. Like it's literally a crooked line. Like you can, and that's so I don't overpower my curl shots. So we are still at B52. I'm actually probably happier that we're at min B52 because what that means is it's going to spend less time in the air than it would have otherwise and hopefully more makeable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to offset this ball guide. Like you can see, this is almost a grid's worth of offset. And then we're going to go pretty close to the min value. 3.5, 3.6, I'm thinking. It's too much offset. Tough way to finish. Not what I wanted to see happen. I bet you, I know it. I know it. I did too much offset, and I'm like, it's starting to come to me mentally as why. It was min club. I was doing more of, at least I would say, mid to max-ish adjustment. I needed to go less. That was my own mental mistake, and it was a factor that I wasn't even thinking about. It's because that wind was so high. 4.5, that's like one of the highest winds that I've seen. I freaked out a little bit. I got a little off my game, and as a result, you can see I over offset. The adjustment was probably spot. I've been having no problems with that adjustment. It was my ball guide offset just coming to fail me in that situation, because I definitely should have made that shot. No big deal. Qualifier either way. I don't think the difference between 30, 31, it really would have made any difference. We're going to at least qualify, I think. I don't think things get that competitive, and that in rookie a 30 wouldn't make it. Maybe I'm wrong. I mean, I do believe that this game is definitely easier than the way that I played it before. How much easier? Probably marginally. Because there's exceptions, right? Like some of these new courses they're creating have like weird ridges, and if you land on those weird ridges, you're going to have mixed results anyway. But the one thing that I do notice is very consistent, more play. Like that one shot, like where my ball didn't go through the rough on the front, where I was trying to basically slide my driver through it. Like I thought that was kind of like a rare exception. Like it's not something that is typically going to happen. It was just kind of bad luck. Like, yes, you can see some of the ball guides sometimes do that, and with all that curl and topspin, like it probably shouldn't have, but it is what it is. I definitely do think that things are getting a little bit smoother. Some people did mention, and I still got some, decent amount of people in here. I did show you guys earlier, I'm in rookie 1, $200 to my name. I did some Tour 1. I was trying to calibrate my curl in Tour 1. But here you can see 2 million. I'm going to do at least, a tour game or two for you guys, if you guys are up for it, before I cut this one loose. So that way, at least you guys know I'm making my way to rookie 2, and we'll do it in stream. So I don't even know if this is a good bag. Let's just assume that it is. Let's go to older balls. We're going to go definitely probably Kingmaker. And why don't we do, some guys, they posted on my comment from yesterday's video that I should put out some tour content. I'm missing some trophies there, so, I'm thinking, why not? We'll just pop in here. Yep, appreciate you, Stuart. Thanks for coming out. Same rock. Thanks for being here. I'm gonna do just a couple tour matches here before I let you guys go. Might as well, right? Of course, I have no idea. Of course, so I can't change my bag, so I'm stuck with this bag. You guys know if this bag sucks or not, and you guys didn't even speak up. So hopefully you guys aren't throwing me under the bus here. My biggest concern is potentially long iron, potentially wood, because I'm worried that maybe I might need some more length, or on my long iron, I might need some more backspin or something. Like I'm worried that I won't be able to stop B52 close to the hole, but I don't even know if it's a shootout or not, because I feel like a lot of times it was driver or it was, and that's another thing. Thor's hammer sometimes for that driver backspin can be a game changer. How do you match? Like, do I have to literally just wait? Like, that seemed like it was at least a good solid minute. Does anybody else feel like that was like solid 60 seconds, like legit? Okay, my problem with this hole is I want to go for this shot. And I feel like if I don't hit it, I know that the penalty here is going to be huge. Okay, I don't think I can hit it. So that might help force my hand a little bit. My guess is even if I go max there, might clip something. So I'm a little hesitant to try that. We'll go 10 rings straight up. I feel like I'm going to need to rely on this just a tiny bit more. I know I've been very cavalier with it in this stream. New courses tougher. I remember this in some tour. I don't know for sure that this was in 11, but I feel like this has been here. It's at least been in something. 10, 12. No, it was 11. This course, I swear I almost remember this in 11, like for sure. Because maybe I'm wrong, but I swear I remember this with like Paris courses. Is this guy doing a slice? Full slice? I was thinking about doing that, but I didn't want to do something stupid on stream that I'm just not ready for. Now, I do know that it's a very small adjustment. It was probably, in that case, I don't know, 15 rings. It's probably something like crazy small. It's because it's resisting coming back with all that wind, so it just doesn't come back as far. So this is towards min. 11.4. We're going to do some offset for sure. Something like that. Mid-ish club. I don't have enough time to really analyze this too much, but I'm thinking 10 and change, maybe 11. See if I can hit my, nope, I cannot. It's coming in pretty nice though. So I think I'm going to be able to probably handle the higher tours is my guess. I mean, that still had a chance. So at least conceptually, my mind is still somewhere in the realm. Gokasho, yeah, maple. I feel like I remember those. And I'll tell you the hole that I really despise, that one Gokasho that has like that false front dome type fairway in front of the green. That one is a nightmare in these high winds. Not for every wind, but certain winds I remember just being like, what the crap? Like, what do you do? Like straight tailwind or something. Now, I know a lot of shootouts as well play significantly over. I really am at a loss on this one. And I'm assuming I can't see his spin either, right? Yeah, they hide it. I knew it. I remember when they first implemented that. I didn't know if they took it away. I do remember for the later tee box that landing this on that front is definitely a good thing. I definitely remember that. But I'm definitely worried about getting this one close. I know that's a good shot, relatively speaking. I know 4 yards on this is no slouch for sure. It's a wood, 12.4. I think 20%. God, I feel like I don't even need to touch this. It just feels right. God, this is like the craziest. Crazy. All right, I don't think this is going to work out. Probably need some more topspin. And I can't even pull my rings. I'll be lucky to get this off. Jeez. I definitely feel like this is going to come up short. It did run through, but too much, didn't it? Yep. What would you guys have done? Would anybody have done backspin on that? It just didn't feel right. It felt like straight into the wind there. That was going to shorten up. But that is a jacked fairway. Nothing about, like, you can even see, even when I was putting side spin on, it's like, okay, it's doing nothing. Like, you put the side spin on and it's not even changing the ball guide, because way up on the hill up there, it's just still rolling down identical. I think the 20% was in the ballpark. You can see, even on max, like realistically, that was probably plus 30. It was probably more this and then that mid-ish to max adjustment, like somewhere in between here. So at 12.1, we're talking somewhere up here. It was probably something like this. Or I just saw it was going into the pluses, so it was probably 16 rings or something. I know I went about the right rings, but the biggest thing is getting it to roll out properly, because there's just there's so many bounces influencing that shot, because they're all like, bounce 1 is on a hill, bounce 2 is on another hill, bounce 3 is on a completely different hill. So you have to, every single one of those had to work out perfect. And I feel like there's no alternates. I don't think that there's an alternate shot that you can do and do it any better than what I did. I feel, other than getting the spin just a little bit more dialed, is the only thing you could have done. I saw somebody throw me the shades. Does anybody know, is this a live game? Like, because I have no clue. It's nobody from the stream, is it? Was that generally too much backspin or too much topspin there? I'm having trouble figuring out if that was going to stop, every time. Like, if I would have had like a worse rollout there, I feel like it maybe would have went long if it took like a long fairway bounce. Drew, I'm not sure about the updates to the notebook. Short answer is I would essentially assume no, but always, I know for a fact we would definitely upgrade notebook in the event that ring adjustment completely changes or clubs are added. So for instance, we gave you guys the fixed clubs. We came in to create that, just so you guys have it. Anything that's ring related that will completely derail the way that you guys adjust, yes, you will definitely get an update. As far as functionality, otherwise, still at this point, I would assume no, but you never know. So this is towards max. I know you got to go definitely a large adjustment straight into a wind. That's just common sense. You also got to keep the ball guide through. Thinking something, this fairway's jacked. I'm not happy about that. Thinking something along the lines of, see, I'm too slow to do this. That's the problem. I'm just not doing this quickly enough. Now, I do like the fact that the shot clock is ridiculously slow. Like 10 seconds is what, 20? Like, is that legit a real thing? Ball guide still through the hole too much. I should have shortened it, but my line was good. And my logic for the deflection definitely, like, I feel like if that slowed down and I actually didn't push it through as much as I did, that was potentially going to drop. But here's the question, MBS, that I have. If you get an emoji, couldn't that just be from the replay? That's the way that the game was at one point. I don't know if that, like, did they fix that to where if you see an emoji, like, it's automatically definitely a live person? Like, I don't know if that's true or not. So if somebody has the answer, feel free to post it. I feel like this is too small for the wind to play, but my knowledge at this point is a little too weak that I don't want to trust that. I feel like that's not going to play. And I also feel like I probably rushed that more than I should have. Has anybody worked out, like, so, because I never remember doing it, like, does anybody know for Embringer, what percentage or how many rings, or rings probably not the best, but what is the point that you can, like, virtually guarantee that wind is not playing? What's the shortest distance that it won't leave that cup? Something, oh my goodness, it's something I could definitely consider looking into myself. So I feel like this is the biggest advantage that you can do, more so than anything, is you just equip smaller balls. And this was the old trick, was basically if you take balls with more wind reduction, your wind is a fraction of the opponent. You're essentially raising the chance that you're going to win, because you have to deal with less wind effect than your opponent. And that's, definitely something that is substantial. So I think, Daniel, what I was asking, I think this is the question. In terms of Endbringer, when I do that full topspin shot, what is the distance? Is there a shot arc that's measurable that essentially does not play? Like, the wind will not play at all. Does it exist? Because I feel like the answer is that there is. But I'm not sure that it's something that I ever tried to measure out. So I'm not sure that it's something that, and maybe there is and I just forgot. So, you know, this is case in point, like the bullshit of the like. So this one just gently rolls over. It's less wind. It's less wind than the last one that I played. Okay? So this one has what? 2 3 and it rolls out less than the other shots. Like that doesn't even make sense. I played very like I really didn't even change anything because I knew it was going to come off the slope different. Like it's a different hill that I'm rolling off of. But it's like it's crazy that I almost feel like it's a coin. Like just flip a coin. Like this is either going to go close or it's going to run, as you saw from the other one, 4 yards past. And I feel like there's not like I feel genuinely kind of almost annoyed that that's the shootout because it just feels like a lottery. It feels like I'm playing a lottery. So you're saying don't play the replays. That's what you're saying? So I'm missing some from 12. 13, I got a couple. I do remember some of these courses, so let's jump in this one. Okay, so I just got somebody. That's what you're saying? Because it didn't spin, so you know that you got an opponent. That type of thing. And this can go either way because you're actually playing like a legit opponent. Well, I just lost two though, so wouldn't statistically, if I play another replay, doesn't like I feel like there is something that they have written on the back end. You play, I don't even know what the number is. You play your third replay, fourth replay, like they give you a freebie, ish. I mean, it might not be, 7 yards or something, but thanks, Chris. Thanks for showing up. Dropping a couple guys out of this. I can see we're down under 50. That's another thing. So that seems like a glitch to me. But it's like if you're too fast to touch the screen, that's like the craziest thing. You put the spin, you touch it too fast, you touch that ball, it's like changes your spin. kind of the craziest thing. Let's go here. A little bit of power. I really didn't even see what ball that guy used. I don't know if it's like a threat to be reckoned with. Like, is he going to get to the green? Like, because the one thing that I know is Eagles should be tough on this hole, even with a well played drive to that first fairway. Like, but there's a tailwind. and here's kind of where I was saying. So I don't have the cataclysm, less curl, less. I have just a tad less curl, less topspin. And with a tailwind, is this accessible? I'm assuming it is. He's going for the hook, right? And that's well played, and may come down to perfect ball. I'm assuming from there, the wind is going to slightly play, would be my guess. But I also don't remember everything for sure. Honestly, don't even know if I need to hook slice this. This is where I would go if it was me. Maybe a tad bit more, just to be safe. But it's been a little bit too long for me to play these to know for sure if this is... That's pretty good overall. Stay in the fairway. I should have took off some of that topspin. I feel like you're better off just keeping that in the fairway. Well, arguably. What I like about these rough shots, and this is what I used to eat up. Well, one, I can actually learn from this guy's shot. So regardless, I'm going second. I have the advantage because I can see how much wind he played. But they stay under the... It stays under. So I feel like you almost don't need to... You don't need to adjust as much. So if I was in the fairway, I might have needed to play it. He left a door for me here. I feel like it plays, but it's marginal. Like it's like so slight. But I also might not be able to topspin as much as he did. I don't even know what ball he was using, and he adjusted very fast. But what I want to do is I want to create a spot like this where left, it's still going in. And that's what I'm doing. So it's like, even if it plays, it still goes in, that type thing. Of course, I great balled it to the left. Probably going to be a little bit too much. It's probably going to miss just the way it hit. Yep. I would have had it if I'm assuming I would have had that with perfect ball because of the spot that I picked. So you could see that I was kind of feeling the fairway, and even if it played, it was still in the hole. So I started my adjustment on the hole, inside right, but even if it played a ring, 2 rings, it was still catching the edge of the cup. But what ended up happening, the great ball took the tolerance outside that window, just barely. Oh, thanks for letting me go first. I appreciate that. Okay. So, driver. I'm assuming right here, more or less, is the shot that I would go for. We're going to stay off, or we're going to try to figure out how much backspin. I'm not sure if this is any good, but I'm hoping that it is. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? Oh. So I feel like I had enough backspin on that. That's crazy. I almost put max. Like, would you guys... Does anybody know, like, can you just not aim at that spot? Like, I mean, yes, I could have put one more bar on, but I went 1 for max. Like, I almost went to the bottom. Looks like this guy's going to the bottom. So obviously I should have... I feel like there's no way this guy can roll outside my ball. I feel like it's not even possible. That's crazy because our spins are so similar. Like, it's crazy that ball... I mean, my shot didn't even run that far down the... Try our luck at another one. I just need one win. Okay, so this one I used to go over to that right-hand side there. This is a minus 55 ball, though. Assuming he's going to try to go over there, right? I still can't switch to Cataclysm. That's another, I feel, almost disadvantage on, especially holes like this where it's like the difference. The difference could be, you know, you being able to pull off a shot versus not being able to. Assuming that's going to, nope, didn't stop. We don't even know the second wind, I feel. So you can't get too crazy with this. Trying to back off just a tad. And it still didn't back off. Wait, is that out of bounds? That's crazy. I didn't even use max. I thought for sure that would somewhat check up. Crazy. And we didn't get a tailwind on the second one either. Man, straight into the face, and it still rolls through like that. My wind's like twice as large as his. It doesn't. I can't even fathom that ran out like that. So with this wind, I'm going to have to take off some of the curl. I know that. It's crazy. And that one stops like nothing. Like it didn't even try to roll out, just a little bit more. What's the third wind? This guy has a pretty nice wind for not much wind effect. I think he could drop this. It looks like he over adjusted though. I'm not sure if he measured how much to adjust there. It seems like he just wung it, and probably should have tried to dial that in, because you never know. Like that definitely could have dropped, I feel. It was a very approachable wind. Wait, I got to make sure that this is going to fly. I feel like I'm going to have to earn this, because I'm still going to have some wind here. So I got to think. Concepts like wind effect, because I know this wind is playing. It's probably not straight. It looks like it's actually side. Endbringer, I know that I'm going to have to overplay no matter what, because of that concept that we were talking about earlier, where wind effect, even if you're trying to do a topspin shot, it's still substantial. And this is very close to max. don't think that's enough. 10-7. We are close to max. At least 10 rings, I think. Somebody's saying 12. I feel like I might need to go more than this, so let's just try just a tad more. Oh, shoot. I didn't even... That was an easy loss there. I didn't even see the clock counting down for some reason. I feel like the clock's so slow that I was... I guess anticipating that I had more than I did. Well, like I said, we need one win. Without one win, I can't go on to Rookie 2. So let's just keep grinding this out. I would have liked to have at least seen that shot play out. I'm trying to even remember how the ball guide is even played on like a max Endbringer shot. Like it's like leaving my mind. Like I'm trying to think like how short does the guide need to be, because I know that there's some definite wind effect on a tailwind. Same with the headwind. I know you have to play it through. But I like until I play enough shots, I'm not even going to remember how much. 1-to-1 plus 3 at max. 75. Plus 250. Which hole is this? Okay, I used to go over to the right here when I can. I think this is a good potential chance. Ah, great ball. Hopefully, I was trying to make sure that I was over to the right enough. Trying not... Typically, I might have curled that. The reason I didn't was the wind effect. It looks okay. And I'm assuming... I don't know if somebody was mentioning spin to hole, okay. Somebody was mentioning maybe that I should have backed out, but that I'm getting a replay. That looks fine too. Basically just bumps through that rough. I remember being able to get there, especially when you get it down as far as I did. Might not be the greatest club. I used to do this with full overpower. I'm assuming I'm going to still try to do that. I feel like this ball guide's going to try to shorten on me. Feels like I should do this with some curl. Not quite enough, but should be enough to make that pitch. I'm assuming I won't have to play the wind there. It would have been nice to get up there and potentially at least give it a run at the hole. You never know. That's why I was trying to get that curl down, try to at least point it in the direction. A lot of people use some really high balls in tour, though. So I don't know if this is live. I don't know if anybody was paying attention. But the two that I was playing live, they had, 50% balls or 55, either 45 or 55, I feel. They definitely had some good balls on. Thanks, Scott. Thanks for tuning in here. We're basically just, messing around in some tour here, trying to get one tour win just to get us up to rookie 2. What's up, Vivek? Yeah, Evan, I'll try to take these notes that you're mentioning just as kind of like a starting point. So once I start to, assuming that I at least try to look at some of these higher tours or higher wins, that I start to at least establish some kind of game plan for trying to come at some of these shots. So let's see what shootout they give me. I feel like I've got kind of a raw deal on some of these. I do remember kind of liking this, and I'm trying to think. I know I used to go with this shot some. I swear that I used to go with this, but the only way that I could do that was maybe Thor. This is going to have to be a significant overplay if I do it this way. I know that. I don't know if this is enough. But I know this is a good win probably for this shot. But what I don't know is how much that ball guide's going to roll out. It's going to actually take some trial and error for sure. Of course, I don't like pushing this down into this cliff. I feel like that causes the ball to come up short. But with that being said, I don't know what I did with the ball guide. Was it enough? It's not even enough. So I wasn't even offsetting enough. There's no way that shot's winning. The ball guide wasn't enough, for sure. I don't understand this shot. What? Is this bouncing off the cliff and going towards the hole? I'm very confused. Or is he just taking it to the very edge of the cliff? Which I'm assuming that's probably what's happening. Yeah. So when you put it down in the water, was that a driver? I feel like he had a different wind than me. Mine was straight to the side. I don't know. I don't really understand what I just saw. 8 yards, it was definitely beatable. I needed to play the ball guide out to the left more. I'm assuming my adjustment with the rings was decent because it did land center fairway, but the side effect was just out of control to the right. Yeah, that's what I thought. So with the epoch, I'm assuming it takes away a lot of that secondary effect because it's at min, so you don't have to deal with quite as much. Yeah, thanks, Vicus. Just messing around here. doing a couple of these later tours, just trying to pick up a win. I definitely could have had it there for sure. 8 yards, I feel like. So I was definitely going for the shot, no question. But I definitely feel like that's weird. So, okay, so I'm assuming what he did was a strategy to just lower the wind effect. So to where, as opposed to making it just go sideways, since you're aimed off the cliff, it lands short, you know, well short of the target that is showing, and then it has less right hand effect because it's no longer at max club, it's at min driver. So you can see how mine just, I mean, mine just went straight right. Like there was no stopping that thing. Like I needed to offset at least another two side spin, 3 side spin, significant, because you need to avoid that bunker on the second, third bounces so it gets up there too. But with the driver, and you could see it, like I feel like his didn't have near the wind effect that mine did. I mean, his was hung out so far to the left with minimal effort. Okay, we're going to stop this. Since I'm going to put some curl on this, I don't want this to curl to the right. That part I know. I know it'll try to over curl to the right. More that, and probably overall, I'm assuming that I probably could have curled a little bit more. Let's see what we get for the second wind. A little bit better than last time. So instead of straight in the face, but here's the thing, I bet with Cataclysm you can get it there, can't you? Oh my goodness, especially with extra topspin. That goes double for that, so I'm definitely going to have to make eagle here. I'm assuming if I don't eagle, like it's death. But I thought, and I'm pretty sure, like if I can remember this tour, so this is where I left, was on this tour. 13 wasn't even in existence. I only came back and played a couple holes on 13. But you never had a ball that you could use extra topspin for. It's like being able to go 2-3 extra bars can be a game changer. It puts it on the green, pretty much guarantees that you get the eagle. So we're going to go up here, thinking 5, 10. Got to worry about our power. Hey, what's up? Is that Chris? Is that your attic account that I see? What's up? How's it going? Some old legends coming in here. It's crazy seeing everybody just pop in here, in and out. We went through rookie, trying to just earn any win in these higher tours seems a little, okay, it's a little ambitious, I feel, because these shots have been kind of next level. Like if you're not prepared to drop some balls, I feel like this is pretty tough. I'm going to keep this here. I definitely think this wind's going to play. Okay, well, I guess I shouldn't have kept the ball guide short because obviously it needs to be in the hole still. I don't even think the wind played. I literally think that was still going to be left edge. Obviously, mistakes were made there. I got my perfect ball though, so. Straight in the face. I don't even remember this hole. Did this even exist? What is this? I mean, I know the course, but I swear I don't remember this hole. I definitely feel like I want to be a little bit cautious with this. Definitely not use too much topspin. Gonna need some power for sure. Too much curl or not enough topspin. Either way you look at it. Or I should have just aimed a little bit more left. I'm okay with that, but seriously, what hole is this? Like, is this a 9-hole course? Because I feel like this is not a hole that I am familiar with. I swear I've never seen this hole. I remember Drumore Links. Everything we played from Drumore Links, I definitely remember. I do not remember this hole whatsoever. It's weird because we played. I remember playing a major here, but I do not remember this hole whatsoever. I feel like this is the first time I've ever played this hole, which is so weird. Okay. Do some offset. Ah, that thing again. Nine four, a little bit of offset. It's got to roll out. I think I was a little light on that adjustment. Not sure if, oh my goodness, it's not even going to roll out. I feel like my ball guide knowledge is just not where it needs to be. These are too high of tours for me to just go from rookie to just like accelerated zone, because I've just been like, it's crazy. Like I almost feel like I'm living in trying to play Ultimate Golf, for example, where I know the way that the clubs, but I still know that the ball guide's going to stretch out, but it's obviously not to the scale. Now this looks familiar though. This rough bump shot. Now maybe I'm starting to get recollection of this hole, because I do remember distinctively that shot. I remember bumping that. I feel, or like I'm not saying specifically that particular shot, but okay, that makes some sense. Just coming back in and trying to get adjusted from that. So, yeah, what you're saying about the ball guide being short, like I'm doing that intentionally because I know it's going to expand out, but it's not to the magnitude that I'm anticipating. Like it's less than what I'm calculating for, I feel. It's just a little bit different than, so just like trying to come in and, go full force on huge wins is definitely an adjustment period. Okay, I remember this hole. Let's see what the wind is. Tailwind, I feel like that's a favorable wind. Of course, I don't know what his spin's going to be, but I know same type of thing. You're trying to hit basically like a stop shot that's going to roll out with the wood. So that's what I'm going to set up for. I'm worried advantage to the guy with the Cataclysm, a little bit extra range. I feel like that's probably the club for this tour, which I also have. I definitely could have put it on. I've been sticking with this hammerhead. I definitely like it ever since it, became an... So what I visualize is being able to use full backspin shots, kind of like Guardian. You have but I feel like the situation, they don't set you up for that situation enough. So it's essentially like a situation that doesn't exist. I feel like if I don't win this, something is wrong. Like I have no purpose here because I feel like this is definitely too much room that there's no way you should lose. Like I don't even understand how his shot wound up there. So I'm going to keep the ball guide short again. Maybe I'm doing something wrong that somebody in the stream probably is just like, what is he doing? But logic went into this shot, I swear. It might not be Golf Clash logic, but there's logic. It's still coming up just a tad bit short. So obviously I'm keeping the ball guide a little bit too... And this might also have something to do with some of the changes that I'm telling you that I was mentioning earlier in the stream. This game underwent changes that I was just not familiar with. I feel like there's a specific way that the ball lands that it's just like super soft, like a pillow. And when I played the game, I swear it never was there. We did pick up the win, so as you can see, if I was to go here, clear, we're moving on to rookie 2. So, maybe if you guys want to see some content in the future, it's at least a possibility. Like, this is proof. We got rookie 2. This is my only account. I have probably... I assume that I still have the trainer accounts, the lob trainer accounts, but managing them all, and it's just not feasible. It's not reality. So I'm probably going to be at best like a one account streamer, and more so than anything, I would anticipate like casual. Like I mentioned earlier, I saw Chris come in, like. Thanks for coming in. Appreciate seeing some old faces. If you guys want to do something casual and just hang out, set up a stream, like I'm not opposed to it at all. Like just reach out to me. We can do some friendlies, just shoot the crap, like put on something entertainment for people. It doesn't have to be anything serious. Do appreciate everybody that came out. It's pretty crazy that I'm telling you, like the whole time I did this on the fly, and we've kept right around 50 guys the whole time, which is crazy. Like it's baffling to me that like all these guys, they're still keeping up with things that I'm doing, even though that I took a break from Golf Clash, haven't really even been here a couple years now. I do appreciate you guys coming out, supporting the chat, supporting the game. Of course, if you want to do, a playback or anything, we did do through the entire rookie tournament. We showed you some kind of cool things with like some grid layout with that, guide for ultimate golf. So if you do need some kind of refresher or something, feel free to comment on the video or reach out to me directly. I can definitely try to, help guys. And as far as, the future, I really don't know what it holds. We're just kind of coming on here for fun. It's casual. We're keeping things light, friendly. Thankfully, I was able to get, one of those shots to finally get close enough to pick up a victory to go on to rookie 2. Like, that's literally where we're at. So don't read too much into anything else at this point. It's just kind of some casual fun, just out there checking in on you guys, and I can see that the support is still here. So with that being said, it's quite possible that we'll have some fun in the future. But good luck out there with you guys. Good luck with your rounds, everything that you're doing. Let me know, drop it in the comments. I still do. I've always kept up with at least comments and at least reading what people comment on my YouTube. So it's always something that you can do. I at least read it. I'm not the best at, always addressing stuff, but definitely reading it. So good luck out there, guys. Take care. Like I mentioned, thanks everybody for coming and showing some support.